If you like a boa personality, you like the way a boa looks, but you don't want a huge snake, this is something you should definitely look into. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily. The peacocks are cooing in the back, and here comes Jedi. It's so funny, whenever I start doing these videos, my cat comes running. Yeah, Jedi, come up here, say hello to everyone. Do you want to say hi? There you are. You like when I do the videos, huh? Yep, come on up on the seat here so we can join me. I got my fruit trees in the back, my cacti. Oh, here he is. There he is. There's the Jetster. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I was going to film more videos, and I said, nah, you know what? I'm going to save it for Monday. I filmed a bunch of stuff today. It'll probably be up by Tuesday morning. You'll be seeing this video. We had a couple clutches. We had a clutch laid, actually. And we actually looked at a couple of clutches from the incubator that have hatched. We are going to be getting a bunch of hatching over the next 2 weeks. We have a bunch of stuff slated to hatch, some really cool stuff too. Okay, but I want to also show you an amazing onyx litter. You saw it when it was delivered, I bet a week and a half ago, and now I'm going to show it to you after they shed. They are looking spectacular. All right, without further ado, let's get into the snake room and take a look. All right, I wanted to show you guys this female because she is huge and almost ready to bust. She's a triple het, leopard blood, and Gilbert T positive. Look at the massive size right here and the swelling. She's got her belly right on the heat here, keeping herself nice and warm, incubating those babies inside there. Any day she's gonna deliver this litter of boas. You can tell she's uncomfortable. She's like laying in like this triangular shape. She doesn't even want to coil up because it's probably too uncomfortable. She's so big. I don't know if the camera can really pick up how big she is here. That is really wide right here. So we'll keep an eye on her over the next couple days, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful litter to report. All right, so here's the mother of the litter you're going to see in a couple minutes. We showed you her last week when she birthed that beautiful 4 baby clutch. I told you this is a super dwarf boa. This is the smallest female that I've ever seen in my collection, at least, give birth to 4 healthy babies. And they're looking beautiful. They just shed. We're going to see them in a minute. She was bred by a red baron. So she's a Honduran T positive. She's also onyx and Motley. That onyx and Motley together produce what we call a sumaton. It's a striped animal, which is what she is. And she's a red striped animal because she's got the Honduran T positive gene, which removes melanin. Gives you that, lets those reds from the onyx come through. And we got a beautiful mother here who's ate a nice rat last week. Just goes to show you, I tried to feed her this week again. She turned it down. She did not want it. You know why? Because super dwarf boas do not eat a lot. She knew she needed some nutrition because she had just given birth, but she's still sitting digesting that, and she'll probably won't even eat maybe next week either. You never know. She just takes her time. She eats when she wants. She's not a big snake. This is probably how these snakes look in nature. They're not fat and big. They're thin, even though she's like 7, 8 years old. That's the way these snakes operate in the wild. That's why they don't get huge. They're able to eat very small meals and maintain themselves. Let's take a look at the father, the sire of the clutch, who is a super onyx Honduran T positive. Here's the father of the boa litter I'm going to show you in a minute. This is a red baron. This is a Honduran T positive super onyx. So the super onyx is basically a patternless snake. Honduran T positive removes melanin, creates a reddish color. He is in deep shed. Otherwise he would be a brightish, reddish, brownish color. He's a little darker than normal. You can see his eye. And everything he's going to throw to this boa litter is going to be obviously Honduran T positive, and he's going to throw onyx to every single baby will be onyx because he's super onyx. Let's look at this clutch. Let's look at this litter and see what we got. All right, here's the first of one of 4 babies that we produced from this onyx breeding that I showed you. And these babies are frisky. They do not like to stay do not like to stay put. This is a Honduran, remember everything's gonna be Honduran T positive, which is one of the nicest T positive lines in boas. They have a tremendous amount of red in them, and everything is gonna be onyx because the male is a super onyx. Both the male and the female were Honduran T positives. So this is a Honduran T positive onyx right here. And you can see that it almost looks hypo too, but there's no hypo in this breeding. That just goes to show you how nice that Honduran T positive is. And onyx itself has red in it, and when you remove some of that red using a T positive line with this, you're gonna get a much redder snake like we have right here. So this baby right here is a Honduran T positive onyx. All right, here's snake 2 of 4. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to identify. This is what I believe to be, remember everything's Honduran T positive, and we can see that nice red in here. I don't know why these guys are so crazy today. And this is going to be Motley, and it's going to be onyx. So everything's onyx. Remember, everything's Honduran T positive. And we got the Motley, looks like we got the Motley gene from the mother here. So we got a Motley onyx, which is kind of like a partially striped animal. Now, usually it's a completely striped animal. That's why this one's it's kind of confusing me a little bit. I would almost call this just a Honduran T positive onyx, but it's like blanked out and it's got a stripe, but it's not a complete stripe because then you still see some of that Motley at the end there on the tail. I don't know. This one's, I'm gonna have to ask my good friend Frank Nutt what he thinks of this, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards Honduran T positive Motley onyx or Sumaton, but I'm going to show you a real Sumaton in a second that's fully striped. So this could theoretically just be a Honduran T positive onyx that just has, you know, an interesting pattern to it. But I'm seeing that, you see that side stripe? I don't know, that's, to me, tells me something else is going on, but it could, like I said, just be a really, really nice looking onyx Honduran T positive. This is a textbook Honduran T positive Sumaton. That's a Motley onyx mixture, fully striped animal. Beautiful reds in it from the Honduran T positive. So this is an onyx Motley Honduran T positive. We call this an Honduran T positive Sumaton. This is what the mother was. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors in here. I love that stripe. Motley really, really works well with onyx. I'm sorry for these snakes moving around so much. They're just not. They just want to play and move. They're not ball pythons, that's for sure. God forbid these guys relax for a minute, just for a minute. I can't even take a picture of these guys. That's how fast they're moving. Maybe they're hungry. They're gonna get fed tomorrow for the first time. There we go. Beautiful. And here's my favorite of the whole lot. This is 4 of 4. This is a super onyx Honduran T positive Motley, which is a solid reddish colored snake. There's no pattern whatsoever. So the super onyx Motley gives you no striping. Well, you still get a little tail striping, but you can tell, look at the head. It's a solid snake, basically. This thing's gonna be much, much redder as it sheds out and we continue to see it grow. But this is called a red opal. It's another name for it. And the red opal is, once again, a solid reddish snake produced from 2 copies of the onyx gene. So it's a super onyx Honduran T positive with the Motley gene there. The Motley gene interacts with that super onyx and makes a patternless snake. Almost like very similar to an eclipse, but this has, you know, this is totally solid. Those beautiful black eyes, look at that. What a nice looking snake that is. And once again, this is gonna get redder and redder as it gets a little older. First time I've produced one of these, so I'm really happy. It took a lot of years, 6 years to make this snake. These things are, remember, super dwarfs. All of these super dwarf boas, they're really small. They don't eat a lot. You can ask Pablo, he feeds them. He gets very frustrated because he likes to feed the boas a lot. And these guys just won't eat it, you know. They'll eat every other week, every third week sometimes. They grow slowly and they stay very small, and that's what makes them so appealing. They're literally way smaller than ball pythons. So if you like a boa personality, you like the way a boa looks, but you don't want a huge snake, this is something you should definitely look into. What's up, guys? I have a clutch on the ground. It's a messy clutch. I'm warning you ahead of time. It could be that the female didn't collect the eggs up, or she's just not done. We're not really sure. But this female, I've been waiting 4 years to get a clutch from this girl, because I have told you about her before. I bred her. She is a super pastel sugar het monarch. Monarch being a T-positive line in ball pythons, one of the nicest ones, one of the most purple looking ones. And I've been breeding her for 4 years to a monarch visual male. They hate each other's guts. These snakes, you close the tub, you hear fighting and wrestling, and eventually they settle down. Never got anything from them, ever. So finally I went and I bred the male to another female. I produced some het monarchs. I grew the male up, and I bred the male, which was a spider hurricane het monarch male, back to this female, and we got a clutch, amazingly. And he was pretty young, this male too, but he did the job. So we potentially can get spider, pastel, hurricane, sugar monarchs. So let's take a look at her. She's a really nice looking thing. I really like the sugar. Sugar is really a cool looking morph. It really adds a lot of whites to things. Some people call it calico. Some people think calico and sugar are the same thing. Probably is. So, but she's super pastel, sugar, and then she's het monarch. Look at those eggs just strewn about. And as Pablo pointed out, we would have had a really, really big clutch had she not got some slugs in there. I would bet she still has more in her, just because of the way everything is just, just a mess in here. But you never know. I mean, she could be done. She looks like she's going to bite my hand off if I grab her, however. So I'm going to be a little more cautious than I normally would. Usually I just grab these ball pythons. I'm going to just be very cautious. And I'm going to just check her out and see if she's got anything in her. She feels pretty empty, to be honest with you. I think she's done, Pop. I don't know why she's being so weird, but she could have a slug left in it. She might have like one little slug in her. But I think she's pretty much done. So we're going to take a look at the eggs. It looks like we got 2, 4, 6. Oh, we got 7 eggs there, Pop. That's not bad. We would have had 8, 9, 10, 11. We would have had 12, but I'll take 7, 7 is good odds, because we're probably going to get visual monarchs in here, which is what we want. I'm looking for a hurricane monarch. Unfortunately, everything's going to have pastel in it, because she's pastel. A sugar pastel monarch or sugar pastel hurricane monarch would look really good. And who knows, spider might make these things look really wacky too. So I'm super interested to see what we're going to get in this clutch, and I'm happy that it worked out well. For those of you who don't know, I actually got my blue new cast on my foot. I switched from green to blue, so I got 2.5 more weeks on this. I thought it was going to be 8 weeks, 2.5 more weeks on my cast, and then it's gone. And then I got a boot. I can start walking around a little bit. So all is not bad. Good clutch. I'm super excited. 60 days. We're going to wait. We'll see what we get, and hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can get that hurricane monarch. That's what we're shooting for. While Pablo sets up this beautiful girl's new tub, all clean. She's all cleaned up. She did good. She is empty. She got all her eggs out. So seven nice eggs. We're gonna candle those and put them in a nice setup in the incubator. And you did good. This girl, we thought she was gonna lay like months ago, like 2 months ago, and then she went to shed. She was, that's why sometimes you got to keep these males in with these females longer than you think. And don't worry if the male's in there when she actually delivers a clutch of eggs. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you were playing it safe. That's what we do. We haven't had a male in with her because I knew she was going to lay soon, but I kept the male in with her a lot longer than I normally do, because I just knew something was up, especially when she went into a shed cycle. She actually looked like she was going to shed just recently too, again. And I don't know if that's just because her sugar, sugar looks like it. Sometimes it looks like they're in shed, but she did great. She eventually did deliver her eggs, and she laid a very nice clutch. So you have to just, you got to be patient. A lot of time, every time in the past when I wasn't patient, I started to try to facilitate things and make them happen faster. I always screw everything up. So my suggestion is, these snakes know what to do. Let them do their thing. All right, we candled these eggs, and we got 7 all good. We got Unfortunately, 2, 4, 5, no good, but we'll take 7 eggs. These are big eggs too, guys. Look at how much room they're taking up in this little tray here. That's a lot of egg right there. So yeah, I'll take 7 healthy eggs any day. I would have taken 3 actually, or 4, but 7 is good because 7 gives us pretty good odds at hitting at least 1 or 2 monarchs visuals. So that's really the goal here. Remember, we're breeding het to het, and that was because I was forced to produce a het to breed to this girl because she wouldn't breed with the visual. So it actually will turn out better if we hit some visuals. It'll really turn out better because we're going to get other genes into this that we didn't have before. So that's the name of the game, and let's put this in the incubator. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Isn't that super onyx Motley Honduran T-positive boa pretty amazing? Yeah, we call that the red opal, and for good reason. That thing's going to get redder and redder. It's solid. It really has no pattern. A little striping on the tail, but the head is really solid. It's a beautiful, beautiful snake, and that thing is a pure super dwarf. It is not going to get big at all. It's going to be the smallest boa I own probably, and one day, probably 6 years from now, it'll give me a litter of boas, but probably not going to be for quite a while, because these, like I said, these onyxes just are not great eaters. They don't want to eat a lot. They don't eat a lot of food, and that's why they stay small. But the food bill is very low in them. You just have to be very patient. And I think that super dwarf boas are going to be really, really popular in the future in our hobby, because these are things that younger kids can have. They don't take up a lot of space. You don't need a 4-foot cage for them. Literally, a ball python tub is big enough. And you know what? You could probably go for even half of a ball python tub. That female I have is in a cage that's way too big for her. But as the peacocks say, there's something for everyone. If you like big, we have big. If you like small, we got small. If you like super small, we got onyx boas for you. All right, guys, I hope you're enjoying your Monday. If you are, and you're liking these videos, please hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.